My name is Don Kabbas. I'm the general manager of Great Lakes Grain. We operate grain elevators from Windsor right up through Barrie, and we have one in Eastern Ontario in the Ottawa Valley. I also farm a little spot here in Lambton County as well. As COVID had came in kind of mid-March, country shut down, people quit driving, ethanol demand started to tank early on in the year. We were in a pretty well-supplied market coming into that when we started thinking about corn, and then as kind of the spring progressed and ethanol demand fell apart and we had great planting conditions, early planting, it just made more negativism to the corn market. And so as corn fell, soybeans fell, and that was a major difference. The biggest player in ethanol is the U.S. So all those plants that were running in the Midwest, they were down to 25 or 30% production. So all of a sudden, we have this glut of corn on the market that has to go somewhere, and the ethanol business has just backed out. And as low basis values in the Midwest, that all translates here into Ontario. So it just dropped all values. We do have an ethanol plant in Chatham, Greenfield Ethanol, that is very diversified. They don't just make ethanol or road fuel, they make alcohol and many other products. So that plant's been running at 100% capacity, and they're making hand sanitizer and all those kind of things. The other couple of plants we have, Suncor and IGBC, because they are road fuel plants, their demand really has dropped off. So it has just been a kind of a double whammy for the farmer, because the local demand has dropped and also the Chicago price has dropped. Coupled with that, we probably had our Canadian dollar rally a little bit coming through that time period that has actually made it a little bit worse for the Ontario farmer. I think COVID has taught us we got to be pretty diverse in our local agricultural economy, having, more abattoirs, for instance, or how do we process more of this, our own locally raised crops, some of those types of things. Price of corn's down $1 a bushel, so that's down $200 an acre in total gross revenue. Soybeans are down at least $1 a bushel from their high last year. So on a 50 bushel soybeans, that's $50 an acre that the farmer is going to be less. I think the farm community is weathering this not too bad. The corn grower is really the largest affected. Being down $200 an acre that's a pretty big hit.
We've had both a positive and a negative impact on the farm. I would say, if you can say COVID is a positive impact, it really isn't, but on our business, it has been a lot busier. People have noticed that they need fresh foods. We've lived many years where food just magically appeared, and all of a sudden we find out with this global pandemic that it's not quite as easy, or maybe even a little bit dangerous, to bring in food worldwide. And so people have started seeing, okay, we need to look to our local farmers and our local food. And very important concept in our country to have our sovereignty over our own food and to have our own food supply. We've had to do a lot of preparing, a lot of office work to make sure that we had everything. We've had to read a lot of emails, participate in a lot of Zoom meetings. How are we going to do this? A lot of uncertainty. How is this year going to look? How are we going to plan for this? How much packaging do I buy? How much do I not buy? Are we going to allow pick your own, or are we not allowed pick your own? How are we going to do our store for social distancing to make it safe? How are people going to feel safe? Even if we have every protocol in place, how are they going to feel safe? What's their customer experience going to be like within that? So there was a lot of work and expense going into the preparation of it all. Yeah, many people have probably heard, the foreign workers allowed to come into our country, and that was, again, another decision. We didn't know this year whether they were going to be allowed to come in, and we had planned for it. There's a lot of crop to pick from now until October, when people go back to school. So you can hire students, which we do, but we are very dependent on foreign workers because first of all, they're acclimatized to the heat. They can handle it. The average Canadian cannot handle working in the heat. We live in air conditioning every day. We're so acclimatized to that lifestyle that almost physically cannot handle working in the heat unless you're used to it. These guys here are skilled. And when I say, okay, we need to go prune the apples, they know exactly what they're doing. If I had new people all starting at once, well, how do you use a pruner, right? What branches do I take off? How do I do this, right? And you don't just learn overnight. It's a process. So it goes much deeper than it looks like on the outside political issue. There is a bit of a misconception because there are some COVID cases amongst the foreign workers that it's an unsafe group. That's not the case at all. They're very safe. My guys are very respectful, and they're like family to us. Okay, pick your own in strawberries. That's what we're picking your own right now. So every crop will be a little bit different, but basically we have to watch our social distancing. So instead of people picking in every row, we got to get them picking in every other row at first. So it takes a lot more management of where people are going to be. Now we have an in gate into the patch and an out gate. We have a hand washing station that they have to first go to. They got sanitizer for after. We're doing it by the basket. We always did by the weight, so it was fair for everybody. So we just said so much a basket. We supply the basket, so much a basket. You can fill it full, and that's how we're going to do it. It's actually made it a lot easier that way. We need to do those practices, and yet we have to be as customer friendly as we can with that.
We're a fifth generation farm, and our main focus here on the farm is three sections: agritourism, produce, and our food trailer.
COVID forced us to look at our business quite differently. We're a small business, we're a very hardworking family, and we are very passionate about what we do, which is people. We're in the people business. We love having people come out, so we needed to look at how we could get people out and help them feel safe and feel comfortable here. So the food trailer was one of the things we did incorporate, because we did have to be creative, because we won't have the turnout as we, I guess, would hope.
We are hoping that things will start to gear up a little bit more once sweet corn season is up and running. Summer camps, sports camps, day camps, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church youth groups, all of these, and school groups, all of these groups have been affected, which in turn has affected our business as well.
In order to have some of the activities available, we need more staff, we need cleaning products, it needs to be sanitized and monitored at all times in order to ensure it's safe for our wonderful community. We've had to postpone opening some of the things that our community loves and is looking forward to being able to use and enjoy here at the farm, but there must be much more staff in place, many more procedures and structure to what it is, and that impedes a bit on the experience, because this is a fun farm, be free, and we want to imply the freedom and have people feel that excitement with being able to run around and just enjoy the beautiful farm and have a safe place to do that, with putting procedures and structure in place. So it's this contradiction.
Not only us as a business, but many other businesses have to just put out so much money just to be open, where we're not getting enough income as of right now to help alleviate some of that pressure. We have a great customer base. I'll hand it to them. They're awesome, and we can't do it without them. But we also need the help of our government to support farmers, to support small family businesses, to help get us on track so that we can survive during these hard times.
The coronavirus has impacted us even more than I've experienced in my farming career of over 40 years. It's changed our lifestyles and routines and incomes and our security and brought tension, you know, and so it's really impacted not only us, of course, as a business, and other businesses, of course, but the general public as well.